Grit is defined as perseverance and passion for long-term goals in the face of challenges. In 2012, the National Research Council identified grit as being a critical skill to possess in the 21st century. Grit helps students continue toward their goals when working on school projects, coursework, and other challenging activities. Moreover, grit prepares students for success in their post-secondary endeavors, including careers and education. The theory of grit as a predictor of success has been studied extensively by Angela Duckworth, a psychologist and professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Research conducted by Duckworth found that undergraduates with higher grit scores ended up with higher GPAs in college than students with less grit. This was an important finding, given that the less gritty group actually scored higher on intelligence tests, suggesting that intelligence alone cannot account for achievement, but that persistence and determination are also important factors. Research also found that grit predicted advancement in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, suggesting that grittier children work harder and longer than children with less grit. Individuals with grit have also been shown to attain higher levels of education and change careers less often. Improved grit strengthens students' commitment to their work, thus increasing the time and effort that they put into achieving their academic and personal goals. This in turn boosts their academic performance. Teachers can support students' grit development by teaching them that their abilities grow with effort, a concept that Carol Dweck at Stanford University has dubbed growth mindset. In one study focused on growth mindset, junior high school students were taught that intelligence is malleable and that the brain can grow like a muscle. These students then showed positive academic achievement. For individual instruction, teachers can assess levels of grit by administering a short student self-assessment called the Grit Scale. This scale includes statements such as "I have overcome setbacks to conquer an important challenge," or "new ideas and projects sometimes distract me from previous ones." Teachers can use the results from this activity to provide individualized instruction to support each student's needs. Teachers can also promote their students' grit by encouraging them to identify the factors outside of themselves that may stand in the way of them achieving their goals, instead of focusing too much on their personal failures. Students can compose speeches to share with their peers about experiences that they have had in which they've successfully dealt with obstacles. They can also write essays in which they create a plan to overcome two obstacles that could prevent them from achieving a positive outcome. Using this strategy, students are reminded that even when confronted with barriers, perseverance and passion for long and short-term goals can prosper. Another strategy for developing grit is to encourage students to engage in activities over time that allow for advancement. Good practice for developing grit can include encouraging students to stay in a sport till the season ends, even if they didn't make the A-team, or encouraging students to follow through with their creative ideas, even if their video production doesn't turn out as initially planned. Lastly, deliberate practice is a concept used to develop grit. In deliberate practice, students learn to target a specific weakness, seek informative feedback from themselves and others regarding that weakness, and reach a level of proficiency before moving on. This teaches students that learning takes time, whether that learning is how to decode words or assertively explain their reasoning behind a career preference. Helping students conceptualize grit, reinforcing deliberate practice, teaching the concept of growth mindset, and modeling how to deal with obstacles all support the development of grit with youth. Grit not only impacts educational achievement, but also the attainment of post-school goals.